Hello and welcome inside the CA studio. This is Good Day CA. I'm Molly Golden.
And I'm Danica Furst. So Molly, this is our first show ever and we have lots of news happening.
We sure do, Danica, and let's get right into it. Dr. Greer Rogers recently announced the winners of the Martin Luther King Jr. Poetry Contest. Students and faculty wrote poems about Dr. King and his legacy. The winners were Candon Damone, Ben Draganoff, and Eliana Orlinsky. The faculty winner was Miss Cooper. All winners received a cash prize. You can read the poems in the email sent to you by Dr. Rogers. CA faculty and staff are getting creative for the Faculty Art Show. The artwork features many different art forms, such as photography, drawing, crafting, and handiwork. The featured artists includes Mr. Poston, Mr. Afate, Miss Kubat, Miss Jordan, Miss Longacre, Mr. Montner, Miss Mothy, and Miss Pollard and Miss Smith. The artwork is displayed in the Con Joseph Gallery inside the art building for anyone in the CA community to view.
The Black Student Union held a conversation on Thursday, February 23rd. Kunda Napasa and Temi Anali led this event, which is called Black Reflections, Unraveling Black Identity. Students got the opportunity to talk with one another about this topic. Another similar event titled Braided and Berated, Stereotypes About Black Women, will be held on Thursday, March 4th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the fencing room. Anyone who wants to attend must have filled out the form that was sent by Dr. Greer Rogers by Tuesday, February 23rd. The SATs will take place next Wednesday for certain students at school. Because of this, all students who will not be taking the SATs will be having classes remotely. These remote classes will all take place in the morning. A new schedule is also being used on Tuesday, March 2nd, because of an activity that all students will participate in. The schedule is as follows. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the remote E period. 9:10 a.m. to 10:10 a.m. is the remote F period. From 10:20 to 11:20, the special activity will take place. From 11:30 to 12:30, the hybrid D period will occur. Lunch is from 12:40 to 1:20. From 1:30 to 2:30, E period will take place in person. From 2:40 to 3:40, F period will take place in person. That's what's happening on campus. Here's what's happening around Cheshire.
Days ago, Governor Lamont released Connecticut's vaccine plan. The plan details who will be able to register to receive the vaccine. The plan begins on March 1st with people aged 55 to 64, teachers, and child care providers, followed by ages 45 to 54 on March 22nd, then ages 35 to 44 on April 12th, and finally ages 16 to 34 on May 3rd. You can make an appointment through a local vaccine provider such as the Cheshire Community Pool or call 877-918-2224. Beloved Hampton restaurant Enchiladas was one of the many local small businesses that was faced with troubles during the COVID pandemic. Last week, though, their luck changed thanks to a generous donation from the Barstool Fund, a fundraiser that donates money to small businesses facing hardships during the pandemic. The Barstool Fund, started 6 months ago, has raised over $35 million from everyday people and supported over 200 small businesses, primarily in the Northeast.
Are you ready to watch the Yard Goats play? This year, they will have a new manager, Chris DeNorfia. He was hired in 2020, but didn't get the opportunity to manage a game because of the season's cancellation. He has an abundance of experience with baseball. He played Major League Baseball for 8 different teams, including the Seattle Mariners and the Chicago Cubs. The Yard Goats home game will take place at Dunkin' Donuts Park in Connecticut. If the stadium opens for spectators, bringing your family and friends to a few games is a great way to spend your spring and summer. A Starbucks will soon be built in Cheshire. The new location, which features its own drive-thru, will be at 944 South Main Street. Another addition to Cheshire is a new steakhouse. Bone and Prime Steakhouse is on Highland Avenue, only a short drive away from Cheshire Academy. This new restaurant will include indoor seating along with a patio, so customers can enjoy their meal outside. It has been a busy week in Washington and around the country. Let's go to Nicholas for this week's national news.
Thanks, Molly and Danica. Last week, a massive winter storm ravaged Texas. This storm shut down power grids and left millions of Texans without power. Statewide food shortages and water supply disruptions were among several of the crises that followed. People huddled around fireplaces and bundled up under heavy blankets. At least 26 people have died from this catastrophe. Temperatures in the Lone Star State were as low as 5 degrees Fahrenheit, the lowest the state has seen in over 30 years. President Joe Biden approved the major disaster declaration for Texas last Saturday, giving federal resources and supplies to the state. People have criticized Texas's Republican leadership for failing to manage the power grid and having a slow emergency response. The Republican leadership has responded by saying the power outages were caused by renewable energy sources and not their fault. One Republican senator, Ted Cruz, was widely criticized for flying to Cancun during the Texas crisis. On Friday, February 26th, the United States House of Representatives will vote on President Biden's stimulus check. The relief package proposed by the president includes $1.9 trillion in direct aid, including checks for small businesses, Americans with an income of less than $75,000, schools, and governments. The package will also fund vaccine distribution. In order to pass in the House, the bill has to get at least 218 votes. If the bill is approved, the package will move on to the Senate, where it needs to get at least 60 votes to pass. The Senate vote will most likely happen sometime next week if the package passes the House. Also in politics, the Senate will vote very soon on the confirmation of 2 Biden cabinet appointees. On March 1st, the vote will take place on the confirmation of Merrick Garland, Biden's appointed Attorney General. He's expected to be confirmed. A vote will also take place on the confirmation of Neera Tanden, Biden's appointee to the Office of Management and Budget. Due to controversy surrounding tweets that Tanden has made, there has been significant opposition to her confirmation, including Joe Manchin, a Democrat, and Bernie Sanders, an independent who caucuses with Democrats. Her confirmation is unlikely unless a senator changes positions. President Biden has said that he still intends to keep going with the confirmation, but delay of key committee votes has put her position into question. A major event for science and technology happened on Thursday, February 18th. Perseverance, NASA's largest and most advanced rover yet, has landed safely on Mars. The rover was initially launched into space on July 30th last year and has traveled 293 million miles. Perseverance is a major step in bringing samples from the red planet back to Earth, which scientists believe will tell us a lot about the possibility of life on Mars. The rover's goal is to map out the surface and search for any signs of microbial life. This new rover will be joining Curiosity, a rover launched back in 2012 and taking pictures of Mars. That's all for national news. Let's get back to Molly and Danica.
Thanks, Nicholas. Sports fans are sure to be excited to hear that they can now attend live sports games in New Jersey and New York. Effective March 1st, if a stadium in New Jersey can hold over 5,000 people indoors, 10% of the capacity can be filled. If a stadium can hold over 5,000 people outdoors, 15% of the capacity can be filled. In order to attend, fans must use face coverings, and they must stay distant from other parties. These restrictions may even be less strict by the end of the year. In New York, similar rules are being enforced. In stadiums in New York City, 10% of the capacity can be filled. In some stadiums, the restrictions are more strict than others. A game at Barclays Center required fans to take a COVID-19 test and have the result be negative in order to come. MLB spring training has begun. On Monday, February 22nd, players began their workouts with their teams, and games begin on Sunday, February 28th. The regular season kicks off in just over a month, when the New York Yankees host the Toronto Blue Jays on April 1st. With the dedication and determination of these athletes, the 2021 season is sure to be an exciting one, whether watching the games live or from home.
This past weekend, the National Hockey League went outdoors. The league played 2 games in Lake Tahoe, Utah, at the Edgewater Tahoe Resort. Saturday's game was a matchup between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. After a delay in the first period due to poor ice conditions, the game was pushed back to a 9 p.m. Pacific time start. The Avalanche beat the Knights with a 3-2 score, with Devin Toews scoring the game-winning goal. The next day was a battle of the East between the Boston Bruins taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins right winger Dave Pastrnak stole the show with a hat trick, scoring in each period, with the Bruins also getting goals from Charlie Coyle, Trent Frederick, and Nick Ritchie. Joel Farabee, Sean Courtier, and James Van Rudinsky of the Flyers were able to score, but it was not enough as the Bruins cruised with a 3-7 win. New legislation has been proposed that could allow college athletes to make money off their likeness. The College Athlete Economic Freedom Act was proposed last week by Massachusetts Congresswoman Lori Tran and Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy, and it aims to let the NCAA athletes earn money off of their names. If it's passed, athletes would be able to make money with little to no restrictions from the NCAA.
On February 26th, a documentary about Billie Eilish was released all around the world. It is titled Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry. It can be watched on Apple TV Plus and in movie theaters. The documentary features Eilish and talks about her story as a child and her rise to stardom. Eilish, a 17-year-old singer and songwriter, has a very interesting story to tell, which is sure to make for an exciting film.
Award show season is kicking off with the Golden Globes this Sunday the 28th. This year's nominees include Netflix hits such as The Queen Gambit, which has 2 nominations, The Crown, which has 6 nominations, and Schitt's Creek with 5. The award show is being held at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills, California, with hosts Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. The limited audience will consist exclusively of frontline and essential workers. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching the first edition of Good Day CA.
Join us for our next show in 2 weeks, where we will talk about all the biggest CA, local, and national news. Have a good night.